Um, I've put a tweet out. I've sent emails. Now I'm putting up a video, and I want to put an appeal out there my son and I have decided that we want to write a rock symphony. I want to on a War of the Worlds, and we've been fighting a holy war. We've all been fighting a holy war. It's been good versus evil, and I've come up with something that the good can do to take their mind off the evil. So my son and I have decided that we're going to turn one of our Halloween stories, one of our horror movies, Van to Black, into a rock symphony. So it means that we're going to do the lyrics, but he wants to get involved in the music as well. So I need like a composer, and I need classically trained musicians, and I need rock musicians and that, but also children too, who we can get involved in writing this rock symphony so that we can perform it. I want to broadcast it. I need a country that will allow me to go there with my kids and sit and write with the musicians and composers and all of that, to put all of this together with the kids so that we can then put on a big live outdoor concert. In the meantime, building the first foundation, getting the streaming service up and running, because then we can broadcast it through the streaming service. Any country that wants to get involved in performing this outdoor concert, it would be like Live Aid. For now, I'm calling it Light Aid, but I want to, it'll be like Live Aid, where we will put it together. We will hand it to any other country that wants to learn the music and put the concert on. So I've gone to the king and said, "Can you please let me have Hyde Park?" I've gone to Vladimir Putin. I'm like, "Can you let me do it in Moscow, please?" Like I'm even Viktor Orban. President Bukele, I'm like, please, because I just need a country my boys and I can go to where we're going to, be able to put this together. I'm so excited that I get to do this with my boy. He was like, absolutely. And then what we'll do is, like, when we that when we debut it, we'll broadcast it through our radio, through our streaming service, so people can tune in on the radio and that, and then we'll broadcast it, and then the next day we will release the rockumentary, and at the end of the rockumentary, that's when I'm going to challenge the other countries. They've got 1 year to learn the music and choose the venue and get everyone involved, and they've got 1 year, and then we're all to meet at the exact same time, 1 year, to the day where I mention, give the date, and then we're all to put on the concert and all play at the exact same time all around the world. And I don't care if it's like a Christian family out in the middle of Montana, or, and they all play banjos and guitars and all of that. I don't care who plays the music. I don't care where they play it. If they want to play it in their farms, if they want to play it in their backyards, if they want to play it in their school fields with brass bands and all that sort of thing. The colleges, the universities, the primary schools, the elementary schools, the kindergartens, I don't care. The farms, the factories, the hospitals, the prisons. Everybody learns the music, and we meet at the exact same time on the date, but the country that lets my sons and I in to write it, and to get it all done with the kids and that, they'll be the ones that will get to host the event. You know, they'll be the ones that you know, get it broadcasted, and you know, they'll get to host the event and all of that, and all the money, every single penny, because you know, God would strike me down. You know, I'm a servant of the Lord, and I'm here to rescue these kids. And if I touched, if you know, like, you know, if I say every single penny is going to go to the kids that we rescue from, you know, like Lebanon and Palestine, and you know, all the war torn, every country, every country, we will not be leaving countries out if there are kids who are being orphaned from, you know, war and trafficking. We are rescuing kids from war and trafficking. I want to be able to build as many dragonariums as I can. I'm hoping El Salvador will let me put one there. I'm hoping Malta will let me put one there. I'm hoping America and Canada will let me put one there. You know, so Brazil as well, Thailand. I want to be able to get them all over the world, and every single cent that we raise, every single cent, everyone will be working on a volunteer basis. And then the first concert, that you know, when we put it out there, when everyone gets to hear what we've produced for these kids, it will be, you know, the kids that will be coming out on stage. It will be the kids that, you know, helped put the stage up and do the lighting and that, with the help of the adults that will get involved. I just need a country. I'm hoping, please Lord, let it be a country where it snows. I just, because I know that I know my son, like I know my son, and I just know that if we got to be somewhere like Aspen in the snow, or Moscow in the snow, or you know, wherever in the snow, the stuff that would come out of him and I would be phenomenal. Because I mean, it's like a whole thing, but it's a water sign thing, because he's a Capricorn, but he's also a Cancer, and it's a water sign thing, and snow represents creativity meeting spirituality, intuition meeting imagination. That's what snow represents. And for him and I, sitting in the snow with like a log fire burning, and you know, soups and homemade cookies and Christmas trees up and stuff, the music that would come out of us, what I need is, I need classically trained musicians and rock musicians to be intuitive. When my son and I sit down and tell them the story, and read the script out, and you know, like what's going to be said and blah blah blah, I need them to like almost feel the atmosphere and just know what chords and keys and notes to put in it for them to be able to work together. I know that musical geniuses aside, old school rock musicians from like the 70s, 80s, they would know how to work with classically trained musicians like it was the air that they breathe, because it was sort of like in the 70s and 80s when they really started getting into the incorporation of rock music and classical. I think it was the Beatles that first put the two together, but yeah, after that it was just like, you know, so, but the Lord will bring me, who's meant to be a part of it. So my son and I are going to write a rock symphony. We're going to put it together while documenting the whole thing. We'll get the musicians and kids together, we'll work it all together, and then we will perform it and put it out there. We'll put on a concert and broadcast it and put it out there, with the foundation being built in the background, you know, making video games and all of that. Then the next day, we're going to release the rockumentary from the second pen hits paper. Once my boy and I are together, once we're all together and like that's it, we're ready to go, until we put the first concert out, will be documented. And then so the next day we'll play the rockumentary, and at the end of the rockumentary, that's when we're gonna put out the challenge and release the date of when we are all to meet back, prepared and ready to go. Nobody will be allowed to make a cent. Every dollar, every pound, every penny raised will go to the kids. We're going to have to rely on everybody doing this out of the goodness of their heart. And then love wins. And then, like, you imagine all those lights. Like, if you imagine every person involved in this event being a candle, then, when we meet at, whatever o'clock, because you got to remember, this is what's going to be exciting about it, because of time zones and time differences. If we stage the event at 4 o'clock, and right, okay, we've got to be here 4 o'clock Moscow time, that's going to be middle of the night time somewhere else. So like everyone will, like, how exciting for the kids if their parents see, because my parents let us, all our parents let us stay awake the entire weekend for Live Aid. It was like the greatest event of like my life. It just blew my mind. I knew I was watching history in the making, and now I'm going to be a part of it. Like, it's inspired me to be that, in War of the Worlds. Inspired this. A little spark turned into a flame. So if there's a country that where it snows, that'll let me and my boys go there, and they can lend me a composer and some classically trained musicians and some rock musicians, so that we can put this together, I'll let you host it. You'll make history. You'll be doing an incredible thing for charity. You earn karma, and God will love you so much. And we'll get to rescue children. And because then doing it this way, as well as everything else that I'm going to be doing on the side with games and movies and videos and that, and because the thing is, it's a great way to introduce the world to the foundation, and what it is we're actually going to be doing, and then maybe other countries will want to get involved. Instead of me having to beg them, they'll be like, hey, let's put one here. Like, oh, I want to put one here because we think that's a great idea. Because then when they're not making the stuff for me, they can make their own stuff, and then we all get to put it on the streaming service. And then we all help each other out. And then it all started with us coming together to perform this rock symphony that my son and I have decided we're going to do. We just have to decide whether we want to do it on Vantablack or do something completely different. But, oh my God, I'm so excited. It's like every time I think about it now, I get goosebumps. That's how I know this is what I'm meant to do. That's how I know this is what I'm meant to do. So, King Charles, Vladimir Putin, remember, I almost died for you too. Please, one of you, someone out there, let's do this. Like, let's just turn our back on all that sinister, evil crap. They have no power over us if we don't pay them any attention. If we're so busy focusing on getting all these kids out of these schools and that, bringing their talents to life so that they can perform these incredible, this incredible musical that my son and I are going to write, to do a modern day version of Live Aid, but Light Aid, where we're going to rescue children from war and human trafficking, and child abuse and all that. Then like, how can you not do it? You can't say no. It gives us all something to do. And then, because the thing is, like, people will be able to You know, if it's families in their backyards or schools or kindies or hospitals or whatever, someone can record it, they can upload it onto my streaming service, and then we all get to spend the next few years just watching how everybody spent that night performing the musical. Because you guarantee it, not everybody's going to have access to, you know, cellos and violins and that, and you know there's going to be people out there that will be able to perform it perfectly with things like playing crystal glasses and stuff. You know it's going to happen, guys. You know it's going to happen. Blowing on jugs and, you know, to recreate the music and banging on tin can. You know people are going to come up with ingenious ways of performing our rock symphony without having access to the pianos and you know electric guitars and that we're going to have when, you know, when we put it together. And that's what's going to be so awesome about it, because the love of music, it brings the ingenuity out in people. And then our streaming service, we can spend the next few years just watching everybody else that uploaded that night onto my streaming service, watching how they did it and coming all together for the sake of the children. Um, I would do it here, which is why I'm appealing to the king, but I can't do it here because it's not safe for me here. I'm not safe here until the king does something about it. If the king does something about it, then that's fine, but I still would prefer to go somewhere where it snowed. Because I deserve it. I need the break, to be honest, but also I know how my son and I know how to, I know where to put us to bring the best out of my son and I, because he's a writing genius. Him and I just get each other, you know. And he's always wanted to get involved in gaming music, and that it's the whole reason why I wanted to, you know, build the foundation and that, to get kids like him, getting that genius out there. And now him and I are going to write a whole friggin' rock symphony together. I'm so excited. I'm so proud. I'm so proud and I'm so honoured. I can't even put it into words. So now I just need a country where it snows. Let me out. Please. uh, let's get it. Let's get it done. Come on, guys. We've got to get this done. I'm so excited.